Squeak, a sort of mouse from Timbuctoo by Roger Hargreaves. Squeak was a sort of mouse, a very tiny Timbuctoo mouse. He lived in Cheese Cottage in Timbuctoo, beside a wormhole. One day he was having lunch, a piece of cheese as big as a speck of dust, and he sighed.
"Oh gosh, I wish I was bigger than I am, ha!"
he sighed. That afternoon, the worm beside whose house Squeak lived popped his head out. "Hello, Squeak," he said. "You look miserable."
"I want to be bigger than I am, ha!"
said Squeak. "Nothing you can do about that," said the worm. Squeak went for a walk and met Oink, who was a sort of pig. "Hello, Squeak," said Oink. "Cheer up."
"I can't cheer up because I want to be bigger than I am,"
said Squeak. "Oh, nothing you can do about that," said Oink. Squeak met Trumpet, who was a sort of elephant. "Hello," said Squeak gloomily. "Huh? Who said that?" said Trumpet, looking around and around, and then down and down. "Oh, it's you," he said. "I didn't see you down there."
"Well, that's why,"
said Squeak.
"I want to be bigger than I am."
"Nothing you can't do about that," said Trumpet, and plodded off. "Why are you looking so sad?" said a voice. It was the Timbuctoo wizard.
"Because I want to be bigger than I am,"
explained Squeak. "How big would you like to be?" asked the wizard.
"A lot bigger,"
said Squeak. The wizard waved his wand, and do you know what happened? Squeak started to grow. First of all, he grew to the size you'd expect a mouse to be. Then he grew to the size of a daisy. And then he grew to the size of the wizard. Then he grew to the size of a tree. And then he stopped growing. What an enormous squeak! He cried happily, and went home. On the way, he met Trumpet again. He boomed, for his voice had grown as well as his body. Trumpet nearly jumped out of his trunk. "Help!" he cried. "It's a giant elephant-eating mouse!" And he ran away. Squeak met Oink again. "Hello!" he boomed. "Hello, Oink!" Oink nearly jumped out of his ears. "Help!" he cried. "It's a giant big-eating mouse!" And he ran away. When Squeak arrived home, the next door worm was there, sunbathing. "Hello!" boomed Squeak. The worm nearly jumped out of his skin. "Help!" he cried. "It's a giant worm-eating mouse!" And he dived down his wormhole. You've never seen a worm move so fast. Squeak sat down to think. He said, and he started to cry huge puddle-sized tears. He he sobbed.
But I can't because I'm a lot bigger than it.
Luckily, the wizard had followed Squeak and had seen what had happened, so he waved his wand and made Squeak the same size he'd been before he wanted to be bigger than he was. That evening, Squeak sat having his supper, a jam tart as big as the hole in a button. Squeak liked jam tarts. He looked at it in his hand.
Ha! I wish you were bigger than you are! Ha ha!
He grinned.